evening and welcome to another McMuscles Midnight Massacre. So today's movie is...
It's a new one. HELLFEST. HELLFEST?
Not Bloodfest.
Not Bloodfest. I just told him I had a 20-minute conversation with my dad where he was talking to me about Bloodfest and I was talking to him about HELLFEST because the premises of these movies are the same and they're both of this year and they both have the word fest in them.
And it's like the exact same thing.
He was talking, he's like, oh, there was too much killing, too much switching of genres. And I was like, wait, what? No, there was like 6 killings in HELLFEST.
Like less, I don't know.
Yeah, and I remember you telling me, you're like, yeah, it's supposed to be a big slasher film, like lots of slashies. I'm like...
I heard that.
Death count was like 8.
I think it was less than that.
I'm like, legit, it was 4.
They said it...
Maybe,
okay,
like
we're jumping
6.
ahead already.
Okay, we're getting ahead of ourselves. HELLFEST 2018.
I found out who this was directed by.
Okay.
I found out later. It's directed by the guy that did Paranormal Activity: The Ghost Dimension, which is one of the worst. Remember the one where it has Connect? And it shoots Connect on the walls, and then there's a ghost inside the Connect. Fuck that movie. So HELLFEST is, yeah, it's very similar to Bloodfest if you're familiar with that. It's about a bunch of teenagers that go into a Halloween haunt.
Are they teenagers or they're in college? They're youngins.
They're youngins.
They're youngins. There are like 6 of them.
A bunch of generic younglings too.
Yeah. And what's fun is the setting because the HELLFEST thing is not just like a one random haunt. It's like this big festival. It's like there's this fucking sick ass DJ and like a skull thing on top.
That was cool.
That was cool. Like when they walked in, I was like, damn, I want to go to HELLFEST.
I wanted to also go to HELLFEST.
Yeah, like how fun. Like, can we just have our anniversary there? Like,
maybe if we can find a place like that.
Why couldn't we have a HELLFEST?
So they all go there, and that's the movie basically. Yep. Because there's a killer on the loose.
Yep.
And he just gets in. You don't never see who it is, but he gets into the HELLFEST, and if you're rude to him, he will HELLFEST you.
Yeah.
And stalk you and kill you. And
the HELLFESTanine.
This is the part I do like about the movie, where it's like you're basically defenseless because it could be anybody, because they have performers all over HELLFEST that are trying to also HELLFEST you.
Yeah.
And scares you.
To give you the best HELLFEST experience, right? So
you take your job too seriously.
This really isn't funny, dude. Help me! Help me!
It's just, very hoodie and a mask. This is the guy. This could be anyone. And we had that big talk of like, how many movies were this? We got so confused with Valentine. My Bloody Valentine. What was it? Urban Legend.
Urban Legend was what
He had a parka. That bitch was cold. So.
Yeah. And even like.
There's so many more, obviously, than that. But it's just like, what are you going to do to make it different or interesting?
And that was it. It was just because it's in this type of amusement park.
Yeah.
So there's killers almost everywhere in a sense.
Yeah.
But
the same mask.
It's a cool mask, I'll give it that. The killer has no name. He's Hoodie. McHoodie.
Yeah, he doesn't have a brand.
No, he doesn't have a YouTube brand.
What's his brand?
He goes around killing them one by one, and that's basically it. There's no like rhyme or reason.
Well, like you said, there's the whole Hannibal Lecter angle where, like, if you're rude, he will not support that. Like, one girl was being really bitchy. She's like, "You're not even scary." Like, whatever.
I'd be angry.
When you're telling him you're not even scary,
he's
like, want to see how scary I can get, and then he murders you.
That's my whole deal, is that I want to be scary.
Yeah.
I will say that the movie is shot very well. Like, the amusement park looks really cool with all the lights and stuff. And it is a fun atmosphere because you're there very early on. They get to the HELLFEST at like 10 minutes in.
Yeah, they don't fuck around.
And they don't leave there. And we have a horny goth girl, punk girl.
Yeah.
We have the final girl.
Yeah.
Who we know from another horror series.
Yeah, that we're watching right now. It's Channel Zero, No End House, and it's also about a haunted house. This girl that's her thing now. She loves it. She loves them.
She also has Black Friend in both movies. So yeah, you have Black Friend that's like, oh, let's go to Spain together and we're gonna be besties for life. Yeah. Then there's stupid guy, barely remember him. Then there's the slightly better stupid guy.
Yeah, 2 stupid.
Was there a third guy?
Yeah,
I don't even remember.
Yeah, there was horny jockey guy, kind of.
Oh yeah.
He got like one of the better kill scenes.
I want to talk about that. Which guy? Not jockey guy. A vaguely Asian guy
Yes,
got a cool kill.
him. That's what I'm saying.
So there's two major kills in this movie. I won't say exactly what they are because that's the entire point of seeing this movie. See cool kills, but there's
like the 4 kills.
There's 2 good ones, right? And I want to talk about this very specific issue and chime in if you have anything because I'm not sure if
I don't know what you're talking about.
So. No, remember, so because
Okay.
this place has a bunch of workers that are all there to scare you.
Yeah.
And early on in the movie, they foreshadow this by having workers come in and fake stab people with like fake little knives, and like blood gushes out, and they go, "Oh no!" and they scream, and it gives you a frighten, and then you're like, "Ah ha ha!" It's just part of the show. So when the killers kind of reveal themselves, and the kids kind of know something's up. The killer seemingly goes over to the 2 remaining kids, not the remaining
Don't
kids.
say who they are, just say 2 members.
2 members.
Of the 6 members.
And the killer stabs them really, really fast. And they just fall down, you never see anything else. And those characters are maybe gone from the film.
But, yeah, it's never confirmed if they're dead or not. Because the ones who survive, ones, whatever, they're just shown, like, you don't show the aftermath of them being, like,
you don't see a close-up.
Their first responders are there, like, you don't see later on, so they might still be alive, is what we're saying.
So, this is a weird thing. I think there was a big dirty cut in the middle of this movie. They're like, no, just cut this shit out or whatever.
Maybe. It feels that way.
It feels like this, because very soon after that scene where the killer just stabs these 2 remaining teenagers, the cops like go find the killer right away, and they're like, "It's you!" Like hands up, and it's just some rando guy who doesn't have those same boots that we've seen the killer have throughout the core of the movie.
So it seemed like he was one of the actors of the house who was doing the fake stabbies, and therefore they're alive.
But
because the real killer was actually, the next shot was somewhere else in the park,
who has
going
the
after
right
2
boots.
other ones.
Yes.
Yeah. So that was a little bit like, you thought I was going to be red herring, and you thought at the end it was going to be like, oh, surprise, we alive, like, he didn't get us, and then you didn't get that. And you're like, okay, but this needs to build that up.
That's fine. You can have that, but then have those 2 teenagers get killed, because they were, like, annoying. The punk girl and the jock guy, and you get cheated out of 2 cool deaths. And the punk girl gets kind of a death where they're setting up her death.
That was a cool thing.
That was cool, but then you don't get a payoff because she just kind of escapes and then gets fake stabbed.
A slasher payoff. You don't get a good slasher kill payoff. Yeah, they're few and far between, and they're not that great. And that's fine if you're building something up and you have like this great final scene. But it was just okay.
The final chase scene that the killer has with the 2 goodies, like the 2 other characters. Obviously, we can say it's the final girl because you know who that is.
Final girls are final girls, right?
And they run through all these other haunt mazes and stuff, and that scene was pretty cool. There's some tension there. I really liked the one that was in the bathroom, where she's drying her hair for like an hour.
Yeah.
And then the killer's kind of stalking around and she doesn't notice. That was like legit tense.
Yeah.
I thought that
probably
was
the most
good.
tense moment of the movie. Nothing was really. And there's like a bit of an end reveal after, like final scene with the killer,
which I also really liked.
Was probably the best part of the movie because I don't know. We're not gonna spoiler it, but
let's not say that. But that was, for me personally, I was like, that is worth seeing this movie for, because I just really liked it because it's not like, let's try to make this guy the new Jason or Leatherhead or Leatherface rather. And they're like, let's not have any lore for him at all. In fact, let's have a scene that shows that he has like almost 0 lore to him. He might be just a psycho. We don't know. Like, it doesn't really explain it. It's very clever, and I was hoping that's what they would do, because they're setting up for something. You're like, oh, and I was like, oh, please do this instead, and they do what I want, and I'm like, I like that. I respect that.
I like that, but not enough to say like, go see this movie in theaters. I definitely would not.
What would
recommend
you? Okay,
that.
then what is your recommend for this?
My recommend is. I guess watch it on Netflix. I'm trying to think, like, go on a Tuesday half off at the theater, maybe.
Yeah.
Because it's not that bad.
So I didn't mean to say pay full price to go see it just for that ending. It's not that good. The core movie itself is very just kind of ho-hum. There's nothing...
It's kind of whatever.
It's kind of whatever.
Yeah,
We've
it's kind of
seen
right in the middle.
so much worse, though.
Oh, of course, of course. It does have some good qualities to it, I guess, but it's not like mind blowing. Like this is gonna fucking take you away, you know? No.
And it did really, really poorly in the box office. It made like $5 million, but it cost like $5 million to make.
Yeah.
So when all's said and done, and it comes out on video and Netflix, I'm sure it'll make a profit. But I don't think enough that they'd make a HELLFEST 2. If they were, it'd be cool. Just a brand new characters in a new city.
Well, unless those 2 survive, then you have 4 survivors of the 6.
Then you have to get more friends to come with you to HELLFEST next year.
Why would you ever
go back? If you need to make a sequel anyway. Yeah. But that's it. I'd say, definitely a good Netflix recommendation.
Yeah, definitely for sure. Watch it on Netflix.
And it's not Bloodfest.
Yeah,
it's HELLFEST.
Is Bloodfest any better? Have you seen both of them? Tell us.
We saw the trailer for Bloodfest. I don't even remember it. It was so bad. Anyway,
really?
I was not into it.
Shit, okay.
But that's the McMuscles Midnight Massacre for tonight. We will be back tomorrow night at midnight, and I hope you rejoin us for the massacre.